Okay, let's look at step 6 through 10 on project 6. The first thing that we need to do is we need to add a total row to the account reps table. This is actually really easy to do. I apologize for my very noisy and annoying dogs. What I did is I made sure I was selected some space in the account representatives table. And then I went and I clicked on the little table tab that shows up here. I'm going to click total row and add that. And so that just automatically puts it in here. It totals up the rep bonuses. And then if I want to do some other things, like it asks, it says, okay, what's the count of the client names? So I can go down here and it gives me a little drop down now. And so I can go to count. And then sort of the same thing. I'm going to go to the sum of the total sales rather. So we're going to go to total sales. I'm going to go over here, drop down. I'm going to do sum. And I want to know the average of the eval scores. So I'm going to go to the cell below the eval scores column, and I'm going to choose average there. So a lot of powerful stuff already built into the capabilities of the program itself. So then we want to actually list some key findings. So we want to take some information out of this table and put it over here in this key findings little subtable type thing. So what we want to do is we're going to enter some formulas into these three cells here, 06, 07, and 08. So in 06, we want to use the d-average function. So we're going to go d-average. Hopefully I can spell average. And then I need to put in my arguments here. So I need to know what database I'm using. So it says what we're going to do is we're going to use a range reference to the account reps table. So that's going to be A10 to I29. That's my argument for database. My field is going to be the total sales. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to actually, notice this is written in quotes. So I'm actually going to type that in, total sales. And I'm putting that in quotes so that Excel knows that's what it's looking for. And then the range for the criteria is going to be Q5 to Q6. And I close my parentheses, I hit enter, and I get my average Destra sales over here, which is a particular type of device, and this is the average amount of money from that. Total Destra sales, so this is 07. This is going to be our next step. So this is step 8. So we are going to do a sum if formula. So equals sum if. And now I need a range. So that's going to be my range reference is going to be E11 to E29. E11 to E29. So that's that argument. My criteria is going to be Q6. So I can actually go to that and click on it if I want, and it will go ahead and put it in there for me, Q6. And then the last thing I need to do is a range reference to the total sales values, which is F11 to F29. Close my parentheses, and I get a total of all of the sales that were done for that particular device, this Destra device. Then the reps, so this is step 9 in 08. We want to do a formula that will, or a function that will have Excel count up the number of reps that actually have Destra written in their device column. So Flowers has Destra. So we want it to count up the number of people. So we're going to do equals count if, open parentheses. And again, it gives me my arguments. I need the range, which is going to be a structured reference in this case. So we're going to go account reps device. So we're going to do, Let's see, let me make it do it. This one's always a little tricky because you have to make sure that it actually gets it in the table that you want. You don't want just that cell. So we need to put in there okay, so notice here that it's calling it table 2. That actually shouldn't look like that in yours. I had to redo this and I forgot to rename my table account reps. So yours should actually say account reps there. Mine says table 2 because my table name right now, I didn't go back and fix that. So that's my mistake there. So table 2 device is the column that we want. And then we want the range and Q6 again as our criteria. Close our parentheses, hit an enter, and we get 4. So that should be right. Let's go back and check it. 1, 2, 3. I'm only seeing 3 people with Destra. 1. Uh-oh. Destra, Destra, and Destra. Why am I getting 4 when I only see 3 of them? It's always a good question to ask yourself. One, 2, 3, 4. Ah, I just can't count. Never mind. Okay, we are doing that correctly. Excuse my inability to find things and count them up correctly. That's why we have programs to do it for us. All right, so last step we're going to do. So just as a quick, before we go on to step 10, quickly looking at this again, notice that the structured reference they have here looks a little bit different than mine. Again, that's because I failed to go back and rename my table. So I could go back and do that now, but I'm going to just trust that you understand that yours should say account reps. I also had extra little sets of brackets in there. I think that happened because I selected, and notice that I deleted a lot of stuff out. You know, I sort of selected those columns and it gave me a bunch of extra stuff that I didn't want, so I deleted it out. Just make it look like this. If you have the extra brackets, it doesn't matter. The big thing that you're going to need is to make sure you are using a structured reference and not some other kind of reference, like a range reference in your function. Okay, step 10 usually throws some people for a loop. There's a lot of parts to step 10. What we're trying to do is we're trying to find people who have the area of the Southeast who also have total sales of $100,000 or more, and then we want to list them down here in the extract range. So what we are going to do is we are going to first say the criteria that we want. So up here, this area was created so that we can put our criteria in here. So what we want to do is we want to say we are going to look for people that are in the Southeast. So this is D6. I'm putting in there the area is Southeast, which is being represented in our table by SE. Then we want their total sales to be greater than, the greater than is the symbol that's above the period on your keyboard, or equal to. So I just hit the equal to. And then I'm just going to put in 100,000. And that's going to tell Excel what to search for when we do this extract process. Okay, so we did D6, we did F6, so that's as simple as it gets. We don't have to do lots of fancy stuff in those cells. We just simply state the criteria we're using. Then we're going to create an advanced filter, and we're going to use the data in the account reps table as our list range. So first of all, let's figure out where we make an advanced filter from. There is actually an icon for it. I'm evidently not clicked somewhere where I need to be. So I'm clicked in my table. I am going to go to advanced filter, and I'm going to go ahead now and attempt to fill in all of my criteria. So my criteria are going to be, or my range is going to be A10 to I29. So I don't really want I30, I want I29 there. My criteria range, according to this, says A5 to I6. So that's where we just put our information up there. And notice that we need to use, we're using these absolute references. So I'm going to go ahead and just do, my dog is quite angry right now because he is, I think, shut himself somewhere he doesn't want to be. He's all smart until he does stuff like that. And I need to make sure I know that I'm copying this, and I'm copying it to a specific range, A34 to I34. And I'm going to put this in not as an absolute reference because it needs to take those records and move them down. I actually think we might end up having to edit this slightly, but let's see what happens. Okay, no, we didn't. We didn't have a problem. Okay, cool. So you can see that what it did is it found all of those people. So Flowers, for example, has 100 reps in the Southeast and has $105,500 in sales. So that person has been extracted to this range down here so that we have isolated all 4 of these individual account reps that meet those 2 criteria that we have. Okay, so that's all we need to do for these 5 steps. I'll be back later with some more. Bye.